I believe this version of this song might have been sung by Ned Kelly at a place called Glenrowan, reputedly written by Frank McNamara, Frank the Poet, the Fraudster, brought back to life by John Manifold. One Sunday morning as I was walking by Morton Waters, I chanced to stray. I heard a convict his fate bewailing, as on a sunny riverbank he lay. I am a native of Erin's Island, though banished I'm from my native shore. They tore me from my aging parents and from the maiden whom I adore. I've been a prisoner at Port Macquarie, at Norfolk Island, and Emu Plains, to Castle Hill and to Kirstwangaby. At all these places I've worked in chains, but of all the places of condemnation and penal settlements in New South Wales, to Moreton Bay I have found no equal, except civ tyranny each day prevails. For 3 long years I've been beastly treated, and on my legs heavy irons I wore. My back from floggings is lacerated, and oft times painted with my crimson gore. And many a man from downright starvation is lying there underneath the ground. And Captain Logan, he had us mangled at the triangles of Moreton Bay. Like the Egyptians and ancient Hebrews, we were oppressed under Logan's yoke, till a native man lying there in ambush did give our tyrant his mortal stroke. My fellow prisoners were exhilarated that all such tyrants such a death may find, and when from bondage we are liberated, our former sufferings shall fade from mind. The next song I want to sing is, I learned it here in Australia, and I used to sing it up the country where we were well away from folkies, and I used to put some local names, Kingaroy and Brisbane. But I spent a bit of time in Pommyland around Sevenoaks, and I went to a folk club in this little pub, and I changed the names back to a couple of villages and towns there. And I gave the story. There was very close to there was a big hill with a big mansion on it that they demolished during the Second World War because the Nazi planes had apparently used it as a landmine for directing them up to London. And I told the story that I was walking in the woods around there, and I came across this wizened up old man living in a hovel. And we sat there of an afternoon exchanging songs. I'd sing an Australian song and he'd sing a Pommy song. And I told the story that this is a song he told me, and after the event I had half a dozen people coming up and wanting directions to this little old man in his hovel, because it was all complete bullshit. This is just a little story, but the truth I'm gonna tell. It does concern a butcher who in Kingaroy did dwell. Now this butcher he did have such a beautiful wife, and the cobbler he loved her as dearly as his life. Folderilly eyes, oh folderilly ay. Now this butcher went to Brisbane for to buy an ox. And the little cobbler as sly as any fox, he put on his Sunday coat and he did go to the jolly butcher's wife, because he loved her so. Folderilly eyes, oh folderilly ay. Now when the cobbler stepped up to the butcher's shop, the butcher's wife knew what he meant and told him for to stop. Oh, said he, me darling, have you got a job for me? The butcher's wife said, hold on, sir, I'll go up and see. Folderilly eyes, oh, folderilly ay. Now she went up to the bedroom door and gave that man a call. I've got an easy job if you've brought your all, and if you do it workmanlike, some cash to you I'll pay. I thank you, said the cobbler, and began to stitch away. Folderilly eyes, oh folderilly ay. Now whilst the cobbler was at work, a knock come on the door. The cobbler scrambled out of bed and hid upon the floor. Oh, said she, me darling, what will me husband say? And then she let the policeman in along with her to play. Folderilly eyes, oh folderilly ay. But the butcher came from Brisbane in the middle of the night. The policeman scrambled out of bed and soon got out of sight. The butcher's wife so nimbly locked the bedroom door, but in a fright she quite forgot the cobbler on the floor. Folderilly eyes, oh folderilly ay. But the butcher soon found out when he lay down in bed. Something here is very hard, the butcher smiled and said. She said, it is me rolling pin. The butcher he did laugh. How do you expect to roll your dough with a policeman's staff? Folderilly eyes, oh folderilly ay. Then the butcher threw the truncheon underneath the bed. There it cracked the piddle pot and hit the cobbler's head. The cobbler cried out, murder! Said the butcher, who are you? I am the little cobbler who goes mending ladies' shoes. Folderilly eyes, oh folderilly ay. If you're the little cobbler, come along with me. I'll pay you for your mending before I'm done with thee. He put him in the bullpen, the bull began to roar. The butcher laughed to see the bull rolling o'er and o'er. Folderilly eyes, oh folderilly ay. Now early in the morning, just as people got about, the butcher mopped his head with blood and then he turned him out. He put a placard on his back and on it was the news. This cobbler to bedrooms goes mending ladies' shoes. Folderilly eyes, oh folderilly ay.
What about the policeman?
I was just going to say.
He got out of sight. Sometimes you write a poem and it works reasonably well both as a poem and as a song. I was working at Maidstone Men's Prison and travelling on these tiny little roads through the little villages and then on a big 10-lane highway. And this is a poem I wrote going backwards and forwards. As I was coursing down to crash a gig in Maidstone, I careered off concrete highways that were like a conqueror's tombstone, carving hapless counties with communities dismembered, a sense of being somewhere, something old folks just remembered. The people gridlocked tightly and cocooned in sacred tarmac, locked down in missile flight paths. Have we lost the will to fight back? We've got to stop the car, this lovely, luscious motor car, this putrid, toxic motor car. We've got to stop the car. I've consorted lane with byway, lived caressing hill and valley, loved carousing dainty bluebells where shy woods shilly-shally. But the purring rev of motors to a maelstrom of thunder roars its petrol hedonistic catastrophic blunder. This megastar of mayhem with its heavy metal grating kills the country quiet. Will we car collaborating? We've got to stop the car. This lovely, luscious motor car, this putrid, toxic motor car, we've got to stop the car. As I was a-coursing down to crash a gig in Maidstone, I careered off concrete highways that were like a conqueror's tombstone, carving hapless counties with communities dismembered. A sense of being somewhere, something old folks just remembered. The people gridlocked tightly and cocooned in sacred tarmac, locked down in missile flight paths. Have we lost the will to fight back? We've got to stop the car. This lovely, luscious motor car, this putrid, toxic motor car, we've got to stop the car. I've consorted lane with byway, lived caressing hill and valley, loved carousing dainty bluebells where shy woods shilly-shally. But the purring rev of motors to a maelstrom of thunder roars its petrol hedonistic catastrophic blunder. This megastar of mayhem with its heavy metal grating kills the country quiet. Will we car collaborating? We've got to stop the car. This lovely, luscious motor car, this putrid, toxic motor car, we've got to stop the car. And just by way of a footnote, I was reading last week that it's estimated over 1 million people die in Africa from motor car pollution each year. I'll just finish off with a song that was supposedly written by Henry Lawson. Who knows? The dogs were having a meeting and they came from near and far, and some they came by horse and cart and some by motor car. Before into the concert hall they were allowed to look. Each dog had to take that and hang it on a hook. Yes, each dog they took that and hung it on a hook. Now hardly were they seated there, each mother, son and sire, when this dirty little yellow dog stood up and shouted fire! They all rushed out in panic and they didn't stop to look, and each dog grabbed it up from off the nearest hook. Yes, each dog grabbed it up from off the nearest hook. And that's the reason why, you see, when walking down the street, each dog will stop and swap a smell with any dog they meet. And that's the reason why a dog will leave a juicy bone for to go and sniff it up and see if it's their own. Yes, to go and sniff it up and see if it's their own.